June 4th, 2025 was just another day for Simpson student and athlete Blane Wallace. No gut instincts whispered to him to proceed with caution or warned him that by the end of the day he'd be life-flighted from his hometown football field in a coma for days and surviving, his heart stopping twice. The incident, which can only be described as a freak accident, occurred while Wallace was in the passenger seat of an ATV. The driver attempted to move to the right on a gravel road to allow a vehicle to pass, but the width of the road was underestimated and the ATV dropped and flipped down a steep ditch.
I wake up and I'm just like in complete shock, like what in the heck just happened? And I tried getting up actually, but then I couldn't. I felt really like I felt paralyzed, but like I wasn't. And I was able to move my head up, and my whole right leg is basically on top of my left leg. I was in disbelief.
The extent of the injuries included a broken pelvis, a dislocated right hip, and a ruptured femoral artery. His leg had been hanging out the side of the ATV when it flipped, catching his leg underneath, ejecting him from the side, and then landing on top of him. Once an ambulance arrived on site, they quickly revealed how serious the injuries were and called for the immediate need of an air ambulance. The helicopter stationed at Mercy One Des Moines Medical Center arrived in less than 10 minutes, picking Wallace up from an abandoned football field.
So I don't remember much from the helicopter. That's when I kind of blacked out.
Wallace wouldn't wake for 2 days after 2 surgeries. He later found out that during those surgeries, his heart stopped beating twice. He now has a rod on the backside of his pelvis and a plate with 6 screws on the front side. But surviving the surgeries was just the start of recovery. He would now have to endure months of physical therapy and a side to recovery that doesn't get talked about often.
Like I said, I'm a religious person. I was just like, why'd this happen to me? I didn't like, nah, I want to do anything now. And at points in my summertime, I was like, I wish sometimes, it's kind of, this is a deep statement, but like I would say sometimes like I wish I didn't make it through the accident instead of going through this process. I take all that back. Obviously, I'm very thankful for still being here and being able to walk and get back to doing stuff. But the mental side was massive, and it was a struggle for sure.
Wallace wasn't able to walk or even stand on his own. He spent summer in a bed, feeling as though 24 hours in a day were infinite. Doctors told him he'd be in a wheelchair for the first semester of junior year and in crutches for the majority of the second semester, meaning that Wallace would not be able to have a tennis season. After finding a light at the end of the tunnel, Wallace began to refuse to have the things he loved be taken away from him, so he developed the determination not to be defined by this accident.
All right, I'm a young guy and I don't like this at all, and I want to be miserable. I changed my whole mindset. I'm gonna do as much as I can to get back as fast as possible because I want to do stuff. I just want to live my life. So I was determined to get back.
His determination paid off on July 31st, his 21st birthday, when he stood for the first time in 2.5 months, weeks earlier than doctors projected.
I felt like the sun was coming down on me. I felt like so positive. Like I had this biggest smile on my face and everybody was like smiling.
Now Wallace wants to share his story to help anyone who may be going through a similar situation to his.
It's not going to last a lifetime, and it's gonna be over before you know it. So just know that if you push through something, that there's a bright side towards the end of it, the end of the tunnel. It may seem dark, but like there's always a light.
Wallace was not able to compete in the fall season, but he will be taking the court this spring. The nerves on his right leg and hip are still healing, so he'll be continuing his journey with Simpson athletic trainers. For SCTV, I'm Savannah Richardson.